I love being in Brixton, like I do. It's home. Like for all those that don't know, you know, from the age of 9 upwards, I was raised in Brixton. It's my heart. I've got so much love. I've got so much love for Brixton, the people, the community, the history, the culture. It's a beacon of light, and despite what has gone on in the past and the present, it's still fighting through. The people are still standing strong. You know, we can talk about gentrification and what have you, but you can't lose the heart of what Brixton ultimately represents. It's crazy, you know, like when I think about like a circle, and I feel like I've come full circle, but things are still moving. So, you know, starting in Forest Hill and then finding myself in Peckham, and then now in Brixton, where, you know, I grew up as a young child. Although I went to school in a different borough, I lived and grew up in Brixton. It's home to me, like I feel at home. And it's amazing to actually take that in, you know, like it's actually a full circle, and a circle is never ending. So the journey is still continuing, and wherever it takes, but like I fully believe that like roots have been made here in Brixton. Like it's community, it's togetherness, you know, and Best of Both Boutique, it's not just a fashion store, it's become a hub. You know, we've built a food bank, we've built our own community, you know, we're giving to those that are in need. We're doing our part. No matter how small it may be, we're still doing our part here in the community of Brixton, and we will continue to do that, because that is what we're about, and that is what Best of Both Boutique has been about and will continue to be about. Growth. The community has been gassed, you know, like wow, you know, you've got to shop in Brixton, because anyone knows it is not easy to get a shop, a commercial business in this area, you know. And anyone that knows this store, it was a fashion shop for like nearly 30 years. So this particular shop has always been known for fashion. So it's like continuing on, and not someone else's legacy, but a legacy. And that's powerful, and that's important, and I just feel, I'm just so grateful, and people have just been so welcoming, so warm, and obviously those that have known the journey are just so excited and proud, you know, proud to see what has been accomplished. And it's not just myself, that's the thing, like yes, I may be but there is so much work that goes on behind, and I don't take none of it for granted. I don't take, you know, my husband, who's my business partner, for granted. I don't take my family, my children. I don't take all the customers that have stuck with me and supported, the ones that have shared everything, the ones that have shown up, the ones that have brought people. You know, all of that has encapsulated what Best of Both Boutique, 1, stands for, and 2, has come to. Like all of it is because of all of that, not just one piece, all the pieces, and that's powerful to me. And one thing that there's no doubt about the people of Brixton, they are stylish. They are very individualistic, like they're colourful, they're vibrant, and Best of Both Boutique just encapsulates all of that. Like there's so much fresh air in being here. You know, there's space, there's room, can breathe, and just look. As soon as you walk in here, it feels light. There's life, there's colour, there's life. And being here just embodies that. Business in Peckham was busy. I can't even lie. We did super well being in Peckham. You know, anyone that knows Peckham, it's always busy. Morning, noon and night. And despite just having a small boutique space, Oh my goodness, we done super well. Super well. We were received with open arms in Peckham, and Peckham just made so much sense at the time. It really did. And it challenged me with my customer service because it's a whole different market and community of people. So it challenged me as in taking myself out of my comfort zone, out of what I was used to. But you know what? It worked. It worked. And I'm just grateful. It built up my confidence. I started having staff. We had Kaiser, we had Karen, and business was just growing. And you know what? Do not despise small beginnings. You know, although it didn't start in Peckham, it was a small shop unit. And despite it being such a small shop unit, we did super, super well.
I want that job fits. Let them wear it. I want that job fits. Let them wear it. I say me throw it on, and if I can't fall, because it's yeah. So,
oh, it works for me, yeah?
You just like working it like, you know.
Thank you. No, Brixton. Brixton. Yeah, by the recreation centre. Hey! How are you, baby? I'm good.
you're looking lovely and summery.
Oh, thank you. So this would have been the unit that I started off with in Peckham. And then from here, I took over the opposite unit. It was a bit smaller than this, and that is where the accessories was. And in that space of time, Peckham's finest. Like, who couldn't even, I could never even forget about that season, you know? Peckham's finest, I feel, put me and the business and the brand on the map. It took us to a whole new level. And my mister proposed on it, and my baby girl was announced on it. Imagine, like, at the beginning of the episode or the season, the reality show, we were engaged, and by the end of it, we were announcing that we were expecting. Like, what a blessing, what a start and a finale. But you know, Peckham's finest, it did what it did, and I'm grateful for that time. But then from here, we knocked through. We were able to basically take the front unit, which would have covered all of this space here. So it was quite narrow, you know, but we just used our creativity, our resourcefulness, and we just made it work. We just made it. So literally, this whole front section, all the way down, was Best of Both Boutique. We had 2 entrances. Yeah, like, it was growth. And that's what I can say that Peckham was. It was growth. It was growth. And the customer base was faithful. They were loyal. They were regular, you know. And I built my team. I built my team, like, literally here, being in Peckham. Like, wow, this is where it all began. Oh my goodness. Like, what memories were made here? Like, literally, what a milestone. This was the place where many firsts took place. Cutting off the ribbon. It's so nostalgic, just being here. You know, so much memories are just were made. The ladies' nights, the fashion shows, the collaborations, the Forest Hill fashion show that was built on the fact of having a boutique in Forest Hill. Like, wow. You know, I just realised 71, and imagine I'm number 17 now in Brixton, so it's just flipped over. But yeah, the boutique was a boutique. You know, some people just was like, nah, this needs to be up central London, you know? Yeah. Like, and don't get me wrong, the fashion has changed. since these days. I did a lot of like prom dresses, ball gowns, you know, that kind of vibe. But obviously, you know, there was day wear and casual clothes and date night dresses and what have you. But yeah, I did a lot of them glamour pieces. But I loved it here. I loved it here. Forest Hill was good to me. And don't get me wrong, it was quiet. Like, Forest Hill is not the most busiest of locations, but for a boutique, it was like a hidden gem, you know? And yeah, it allowed time. It gave me the time just to build up my confidence and, you know, what I was doing and how I was doing it and what I wanted to do. But telling you, this just took a lot of faith. You know, I was starting from the ground, like barely any money, not much experience, retail experience. You know, I've done a lot of retail. I've done the top shops, I've done Calvin Klein, Marks and Spencer's, and you know, so forth. But to actually have my own retail business, that, you know, God just ordered my steps. When I tell you, yeah, this good book here, and my faith, it just kept me, because there was times when it was quiet and I was like, Lord, I know you've not brought me this far to leave me. I know that you've given me this business and you enabled me to have it. So it might be quiet now, and the biggest lesson I learned, keep going. Just keep showing up, keep putting your best foot forward, and keep trusting. And it built my faith, it built up my trust in God, and He just came through and showed up and brought provision at every single step of the way. And I'm just grateful for this to be my starting block. You know, sometimes you talk about hindsight, but it made so much sense. Like, looking back now, it made so much sense on why I had to start in an area like here. Like, it did. For me to start in Peckham, it wouldn't have made sense. For me to even start in Brixton, it wouldn't have made sense. You know, them small beginnings. And I didn't even see this as small, because this was big. This was big for me back then. You know, a proper shop. And yeah, I had a lot of support. And people were just encouraging me and just keep pushing. And that's what it's talk about, your village, you know, your network. It is foundational. It really is. And imagine, so even after being here for like a couple of years, I took over this shop here. Literally, number 73. And this was Kids on the Hill. Obviously, being in Forest Hill, that's where the hill part came. And it was a children's clothes shop, Kids on the Hill. We did toys. You know, I did collaborate with someone at the early stage, but in the end, it just was me. But yeah, the shop was designed beautifully. And it fitted in so well to the aesthetics of Forest Hill. You know, we did the little kids' tutu skirts and the little outfits and the romper suits, and yeah, it was challenging though. It was challenging. You know, that juggle with home life, children, 2 shops, you know, like wow. But, you know, once again, God just came through and just helped and gave me the support that I needed. And yeah, I'm proud. I really am. It's been, what a journey. Like, this is going back 13 years now. Like, well, the kids shop maybe a little bit less than 13 years, but yeah. So much has happened in this journey, like so much. So half of it I've probably even forgotten, you know, but nonetheless, this was the beginning. You know, each and every one of us is here for a bigger purpose than just ourselves. And I feel like if we do a more self-reflecting and we dig deep, we can actually one, find our purpose, recognize and home in on our purpose, and do more. Do more for others, because the more we do for others is the more we actually do for ourselves. It says that you're more blessed those that give than those that receive. So just think about that. You are more blessed when you give than when you receive. So let's give more, let's do more, let's be more. Yeah, together we win.
If you had to pick one location, like if you had to pick one location over Forest Hill, Peckham, or Brixton.
Is that a fair question?
They want to know, Shan. They want to know.
I don't think that's a fair question, because
Forget, your hands are tied. You can't do nothing bad.
But
You gotta pick one of the locations, all three
you
of them.
have to pick. You have to pick where you are, isn't it?
No.
It
you
don't
have
make
to.
sense.
No, if you-
It's like
moments.
it's like picking an ex.
Basically,
No,
you've
you
been
pick
here
where you are.
Wait, you've been here 2 years. 2 years, yeah? 2 years. Right, so can put 2 years of Peckham, 2 years of Forest Hill, all 2 years. 2 years.
No, it's just different. It's different stages. It's different stages of my growth and of the journey. You know, Forest Hill was a big learning curve, a big learning experience. And obviously we learn all the time, but it was my first time doing anything remotely like this. You know, so obviously Forest Hill was my baby. You know, it was my weaning season, and that was important. Peckham, like, wow, like, come on, like, Peckham did so much, and I enjoyed being in Peckham. Like, no matter what, you know, you would say or whatever, like, I like Peckham, I do, and I grew to love the people of Peckham also, yeah, and did very well in Peckham. So I would never discount what Peckham did. And in all fairness, I intend and have the vision of having a second location.
So it's Peckham then. It's Peckham.
Back in
then.
Peckham.
It's Peckham.
No,
It's
no,
Peckham.
no. It's Brixton. It's Brixton. It's Brixton. Because that is where I am. That is where, like I said, where roots have been planted. Like a lot of sacrifice has gone in to this here. And I'm not saying sacrifice weren't put into Forest Hill and Peckham, but this here in Brixton, the ante just was next level. And you know, I've got no doubt, and you know, where I go to church is in Brixton. Just everything just made sense in being here in Brixton, and I do enjoy being here. And I'm quite gassed as well, like raw, like it came to fruition. I have a business, a boutique in Brixton. However, that doesn't take away from my love of Peckham, and that's why I just feel like it would make so much sense having both locations. I don't have a favourite child in it. Like,